Phone number. Good evening. I'm calling the Wednesday, July 13th, 2022 Economic Development Commission meeting to order at 6:30 p.m. Tonight's Economic Development Commission meeting will be held hybrid for public using Zoom. Commission members and staff will be participating in the meeting in person. As chair, I will be leading the Economic Development Commission, and the public is welcome to participate when invited throughout the meeting. Members of the public may attend the meeting by joining via online Zoom at https://zoom.us/join and typing in the meeting ID number 958-3753-1765. That's 958-3753-1765. Once you've logged into the meeting, please use the chat feature to tell the moderator which item you wish to speak to. You may also call into the meeting at 651-372-8299 and enter the meeting ID number, which is the same as for Zoom, 958-3753-1765. Commissioners Fitchett and Schultz are participating via Zoom with COVID exposure issues. Now on to the agenda. The first item is adoption of the agenda. Do any commission members have any changes to the agenda? Seeing none. Staff, any changes?
No changes from staff.
Okay.
A motion for the approval of the agenda?
Yep. You move, okay.
Second.
Okay. If any changes should, Beth, can you do the roll call vote?
Yes. Commissioner Anderson?
Yes.
Commissioner Fitchett?
Yes.
Commissioner Folkstad?
Aye.
Commissioner LaFever?
Yes.
Commissioner Schmitz?
Yes.
Commissioner Sislo?
Okay. The next item is approval of the minutes from the last meeting. Commission members, do you have any changes? Seeing none. Staff, do you have any changes?
No changes.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting?
So moved.
Okay. Second?
I'll second.
Okay. Ms. Weber, can you take the roll call?
Yes. Commissioner Anderson?
Yes.
Commissioner Fitchett?
Yes.
Commissioner Folkstad?
Aye.
Commissioner LaFever?
Aye.
Commissioner Schmitz?
Yes.
Commissioner Sislo?
Aye. Okay, the minutes are approved. The next item on the agenda is the South Cross and Portland land sale proposal update. Regina Dean, the Assistant Community Development Director, will provide a presentation of the item and an overview of the background report.
Yep, so I'm going to give my presentation from the dais here. So in late 2019, the city staff received direction from leadership and the council that the land that we had owned and retained for many, many years at South Cross and Portland, currently vacant, that we were in a position where we were authorized to sell the land. So we had been retaining it for quite some time because the idea was that a potential future fire station could be located there. But at that time, we were constructing a new fire station, and so it was recognized that we could now, we didn't need that property, we could now sell it. Fast forward to 2020, where we released a request for proposal. And the reason why we released a request for proposal for land offers was because we have a land sale policy. In that land sale policy, it talks about you can either do a direct negotiated sale with an individual interested party, or if there are multiple people interested in the party or in the property, that an RFP is required. So we did have a number of people interested in the property, so we had them submit formal letters of interest so we could determine if this was just a, hey, I see your land for sale sign, what's the price, and to gauge if, like, are these people truly interested. So we did receive a number of letters of interest, so that's when we published the request for proposal. When we do request for proposals, at least in the past, we have not established a purchase price. We kind of let the market and the proposals drive the development. And so with that, you may get something a little more creative, and you can create those parameters of what you expect to see. And we did get, I believe there were 4 proposals that we received back in 2020. We went through the process of going before the EDC, then to City Council. We were working on a purchase agreement, and that developer, Don A. Holmes, decided to not move forward with their proposal. And the reasons cited were when they were doing some early testing, soils testing, that they had hit some concrete and unknown material. And they were concerned what those cleanup costs would be, and given at the time the market and what they had been working on, felt that they should not proceed for business reasons. So back to the drawing board, knowing that there was this debris that was found by the developer, and we did know that we had access to some grant money through Dakota County to do a phase 1 analysis. We used that as an opportunity to have a phase 1 completed to further understand what's going on the property to help inform a future interested party. So that was completed. That did take some time. Once we did have the phase 1 in hands, then we released the RFP again. So we did that in, what would that be, in late 2021, and we did receive 5 proposals from 4 different entities. We were working with one of the developers, and they did decide to withdraw their request. And this was after working with them for some time. There were some sightline issues that we wanted to make sure could be resolved before we brought it forward to EDC and then ultimately City Council, and then ultimately the Planning Commission for land use clearances that are required. And we went through all of that, and at the last minute, did receive a request for withdrawing their proposal. So we went to number 2 on the list, and because there had been quite some time and they had other priority projects, they decided not to move forward. And the other proposals we received, as a staff, we would not recommend going forward. Just for your knowledge, the purchase prices ranged from $5,000 to $350,000 for the property. So quite the range. As far as next steps, so again, we don't recommend moving forward with the proposals, mainly based off of the price. And so we're kind of back to the drawing board. At this point, we'd like to do some more marketing surrounding the properties. So right now we're evaluating putting a more permanent type sign, not, I wouldn't say permanent, but a typical like commercial developer land sale sign on the properties, because one, we don't have one on the South Cross Portland land. We have 2 other pieces of land that are in a commercial area that we do have signs on, but they can use a refresh. I think one might be damaged and fallen down. So that's one thing. We also just want to improve some of our electronic and our kind of handheld marketing that we do as well. And then we're also in the process of completing a land appraisal for the site. So we didn't have an appraisal for the site, and so I think that'll give us a better understanding of what we can accept for a price going forward. So we really want to understand a little more. And then we'll re-release the RFP again at some point, or do a negotiated sale with one individual interested party. So that's where we are. Certainly can stand for any questions.
Commissioners? Questions?
I have some questions.
Commissioner Folstead?
I have a
LaFever,
question.
Lefevre?
today I'm LaFever.
Yes.
So when you have an appraisal on the property, the appraisal is going to take a look at market comparables, but it doesn't give consideration for the environmental cleanup. And that environmental cleanup is a red flag for any developer. And to the extent that we can remove risks, it's going to help us get the best price that we can possibly get. So are we doing anything to quantify the cleanup costs before we go to an appraisal?
We have not. We are working with the county to see about doing a phase 2 to see if that's necessary. But as far as any additional, no.
So phase 2 is helpful because it fully helps you understand the extent, right? But you still need to quantify what it's going to cost to clean it up. And the appraisal is not going to take that into account. They can't accurately take it into account. And so to me, I would suggest that we figure out, yes, we probably have to spend a little bit of money, or we have to figure out a tool that says we'll remediate it for the potential buyer. The better tool is to make sure that we don't deal with the unknowns, and we quantify what it's going to take to clean it up. And then figure out if there's tools available that we can maybe capitalize on to help us maximize the price.
Thank you for that feedback.
I was just gonna, on that, I believe there is, or at one point, there was some county grant funds that we could use for various land projects, including tearing buildings down and such like. I didn't know if maybe that fund could be used for something like this. Just to echo much of what Jeff said, it'd be a lot more attractive if it was just taken care of already. And market rate would be easier to obtain.
Thank you. And we can explore, I think you're referring to, well, one pot of money is the Environmental Legacy Fund money through Dakota County. It's a great idea, great feedback. I'll have to look through our joint powers agreement to see if we can use it on city land and greenfield type development, if there's the ability to do that, but great feedback.
Even if you could quantify the risks and then have that tool available for the buyer to access, would help, I think, maximize the price.
Commissioner Sislo?
Yes. So the phase 1 analysis of the property, what did that do exactly?
So we had worked with, or the county had worked with Stantec, their consulting firm, to go out on site and analyze. There's certain criteria, and I don't have it in front of me, and I don't claim to be an expert in environmental analysis, but basically to see if there was indeed any either spills, evidence of dumping, the history of the property, what it may have been used for before. Where they look at, were there structures on the property before? Were there not? There wasn't any evidence of that, but they did walk the site and did notice that there was concrete. It was inconclusive in how it got there, but it gives a description of what's observed on the property, and I'd say not a lot of detail about, no testing was done. Or
So at this point, we're aware of some concrete on the property, but as far as the extent of anything more serious like hazardous waste, we don't believe that there is any.
we don't believe that there necessarily is, based off of historical use of the property. Like, it wasn't a gas station before or something like that, where it could be leaking tanks or something like that. But it's inconclusive as far as the concrete or what may have been around the concrete which was dumped. That hasn't been tested at all.
Just throw something out here, but is there any way to have somebody go out there with a a bobcat and a shovel and a dump truck and start digging some of that out and maybe see if we can get to good old fashioned black dirt.
So can I comment on that?
Yeah, go ahead.
So Ms. Dean is right, in that phase one is typically a historical record. Anything that's been registered, any past photos, and a physical inspection of the site. Phase two is actually where they'll drill core samples and be able to determine what's in those samples, if there's any environmental issues, somebody left some asbestos, dumped some asbestos, or whatever the case may be. And so that's gonna be much more narrative on what's going on in that site, that we can start to put some recommendations together. Because even if you found the cement block, underneath that, there could be some old creosote from railroad ties or asbestos or whatever, you don't know.
Is that a standard
It is.
process to go through phase two on a
It
undeveloped
is.
land?
Yep.
Okay.
Any other comments, questions?
Vice Chair Anderson, Crystal does have Chair Fitchett does have a question on Zoom or comments.
Commissioner Fitchett?
Thank you for recognizing. I did have just a comment to piggyback off. Someone mentioned grant funding, but I wanted to mention there may be an opportunity with Employment and Economic Development for grant funding for hazardous cleanup. There might be some money there. And the other question I had was, is the EDA going to be doing some research? Or did I read something where it sounded like the EDA might be doing some research about the area and what could be built there? Is that?
I'm unaware. So the Economic Development Authority, essentially that's the same members of the city council. Is that what you mean, Chair Fitchett?
Yeah, I thought I read something about the EDA doing some research to help provide information to the EDC. And I'm wondering if this is like an opportunity for them to be able to provide helpful information. Because for example, could this be affordable housing be built there, or, you know, another way to use the land, since they're not going to be looking at it for a firehouse?
So, Chair, I believe, I haven't heard anything specifically from the EDA about this site. So this particular property, it is owned by the city of Burnsville, which is technically a different entity than the Economic Development Authority. And we did get direction from the city council and leadership to move forward with marketing the property. Certainly with the request for proposal that we've done in the past, we've been very open to ideas. One of the proposals that did not move forward was very creative and had a lot of sustainability elements in it and really aligned with some of the goals of the city. But unfortunately, again, they withdrew. I think, you know, I haven't heard anything specifically from the EDA, but I think we're open to ideas.
Any other comments? You had suggested that you would do some additional marketing. Would that include some of the other properties that the city has at the same time?
It would,
Okay.
yes.
And was there any question about the zoning that's on the South Cross Portland property at all?
So the current zoning of the property is R2, which is a medium density type zoning. It is also currently a plan unit development, which does allow some flexibility to the uses. As far as anything else, I'd say we're open to ideas.
Okay,
Just one more question.
go ahead, Commissioner Sislo.
Just had another question on the just cost of phase two, and if you have an idea of what that might cost.
So cost of phase 2, I believe, would be covered through the county's grant program that they have. They have a brownfield cleanup grant where not only the city, but developers can also receive grant funding to do a phase 1 or phase 2. I can say that it does take some time. So a lot of times developers, they need to move quick, and it's not a fast process from what we've experienced.
That's, I second what Jeff was saying there about having the property ready to go and instead of uncertainty, which could, if there was oil tanks under there, that could get very expensive, of course.
Any other comments? All right, we don't need to do any action on this item, so we'll look forward to hearing from you in the future on your marketing plan for this and other properties.
Sounds good. Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is the strategic plan update for the Economic Development Commission. Beth Weber will give us a presentation on that.
All right. Good evening, commissioners here and online. It's been a while since we've met, so we have some good and exciting updates for you tonight. Our first goal, as usual, is ensuring the sustainability of the Burnsville Shopping Center and County Road 42 corridor. So I'm pleased to update that we have received a grant from DEED's Host Community Economic Development section for pre-design of the Aldrich Avenue South Road extension on the mall property. So you can see a graphic there where I have rustically highlighted the future road, but we are thankful to have received just over $400,000 to pre-design that road, which will, our plan is to build that concurrently as development continues on the site. Also on the mall property, Pacifica Square is planning their 60,000 square foot Asian grocery store to be located in the former Gordman space. So they purchased the Gordman space, and then Dick's, Kirkland's, Noodles, and Panera. Those tenants will remain, and the Ensign Market will fill the Gordman space. So the plan is to have that be an Asian grocery store and food hall. So we're excited to see that come through. And then additionally, staff presented to about 50 people at Gramercy Club on the Center Village Vision as part of our continued outreach in the area. So we do have plans to continue that in the future, and we received positive feedback following that presentation. Improving the image of the school district in the city. We worked with communications, or economic development staff worked with communications to develop a community profile, which you have in front of you. We also have it featured on our website. Our plan is to use this at trade shows, in meetings with developers, as part of staff recruitment. And so a lot of time and effort was put into this, and we feel that it's a great way to highlight the city of Burnsville and better communicate our messaging to interested people. And then the City Chamber, Convention and Visitors Bureau, and the school district are planning a SPAR Realtor event to host for our local realtors so that we can showcase the city's strategy and vision for the future. And so our hope with this is that as our local realtors are marketing homes to future residents of Burnsville, they'll really understand each of our organizations' plans and hopes for the city of Burnsville, and they'll be able to carry on that message for us. So more information will come out later as we get that event planned and finalized. Continuing development within Heart of the City is our third goal, and Chase Real Estate's Gallery on Nicollet 171 unit apartment building is open. So it's a very prominent structure within Heart of the City, and we're certainly excited to have that ready for leasing. And then MWF Properties Gateway Housing Development is currently under construction. That you can see shown just as an overhead aerial photo. That's 2 buildings, 135 units senior affordable and 162 unit market rate. Building awareness around the city's existing housing and commercial programs continues. Our partnership with the Burnsville Chamber, with our Grow Minnesota visits, we've had 10 so far this year, and we have several more scheduled and on the books. Our partnership with the Center for Energy and Environment, this year we've had 3 rebates and almost 50 visits. So that's very exciting that opportunity for Burnsville residents continues to have energy audits of their homes at a discounted rate. The city pays portion, and then the homeowner would pay the other portion. So they can get information about their home and how to save some money that way. And then Homework is launched. So that is our housing improvement assistant program that we brought to you, I believe, the end of last year. So there are 2 housing rehab loans, and then the Code Cash program, which our code enforcement department kind of manages in conjunction with code violations of residents' properties. So if there's a financial difficulty, they can use that grant money as part of a way to correct that issue. So we do have a dedicated Homework landing page on our website, and that was linked in your background. And we've partnered with the Center for Energy and Environment for the rehab loans, and then city staff is managing the Code Cash grant program.
Okay.
Continuing our position as a regional destination, our 3rd annual Tour de Flavor kicks off on Friday, so you all have a map at your spaces. We've pushed out information in our newsletters, it's on social media, and then in partnership with Experience Burnsville and International Festival this year, we're able to communicate the message of all of the diverse food options that we have here in the city. And you'll see that we have 40 restaurants and 14 markets that we've included. So staff has been out delivering materials to all of these locations this week, and that will continue through the end of the week. And we've received some really positive feedback so far. So it's been really exciting getting out to all of these locations. And I have a team of volunteers at the city here who have expressed interest in participating. And so that's been really exciting to have assistance from other departments that maybe weren't aware of this program or hadn't helped facilitate delivery of things. So it's exciting to have that going on. And then also tonight, I think we had touched before on our Open to Business partnership and a video that we had been producing. So we'll be showing that tonight. And it looks like I skipped over. Party on the Plaza is back at Nicola Cummins Park, so we have one coming up on July 21st and then another one on the 25th. So with that, I will play the video for everyone to see. It is on our website, and we do use it kind of as a marketing tool to highlight some local businesses that we had participate.
The Open to Business program is a partnership between the Metropolitan Consortium of Community Developers and the cities and the counties that participate in the program. The program is a complete suite of services, direct one-on-one technical assistance, direct lending, and also partnership financing with banks and financial institutions in the community. In just the past 5 years, we have worked with more than 85 small businesses in the city of Burnsville. Those businesses received 500 direct technical assistance hours, and we made loans totaling $770,000. Those loans were leveraged to bring more than $6 million of financing from traditional lenders to the city of Burnsville.
The partnership between the Dakota County Community Development Agency, Open to Business, and the City of Burnsville helps us meet our goals of providing impactful programming and resources for our local businesses.
My business is work finishing cabinets. We work for contractors, cabinet makers, individual people too. My principal work is paint cabinets, paint doors, windows, finishing. When the Hispanic people or the minority people need help for growing and something like that, the big banks never help you. You know, and you need to start looking something like the open business, because start my business with my own money, credit card and small savings, and they help me with the loan to try to keep open, and after that, they give me more loans to growing more.
I have a business which is called Stunning Beauty Supply. It is a beauty supply store that sells hair care products. Some of the resources that I used was the micro grant program. My grant money that I won is going to go towards a few more inventory items. It's also going to help us to get a computer to finally be able to run our business from a computer and not from my phone. And it's also going to help with marketing and signages that people would be able to find us within this building. I feel if I hadn't found Open to Business, I would have been lost. I would have been struggling online, trying to find sales, going door to door, just trying to market myself. It would have been extremely difficult. And I'm thankful that I found you guys.
Well, the Humanitarian Kitten is my business, and it is a business that is intended to raise funds so that I can donate quilts, donate other items that have been made to soldiers, to hospitals, etc. The program has helped me notably, especially in the beginning phases when I really had no clue what I was doing, if I needed licenses. What about Etsy? What about an accountant? And then I would say personally for myself, most importantly, is just the confidence that I can do it. Like I said, I registered for my LLC and really just thought, now what am I doing? And so to know you're not in it alone completely, to know that you have that support, you have someone you can go out to me, priceless and the biggest thing I got out of it.
The City of Burnsville is committed to meaningful relationships and experiences that meet the diverse needs of our community. Working with Open to Business allows us to provide a free service to help our local entrepreneurs establish and grow their businesses.
Don't go it alone. Contact Open to Business, visit our website, or reach out to the city to get started.
All right. So that was everything I had for you. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions on the developments, etc.?
I'm just wondering if the stars in the video were expensive.
Definitely not.
Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, very nicely done.
Well put together. Yep.
Yep.
So the MWF, is that all on the Cross Anderson land, or was there something at the corner of Burnsville Parkway and Harriet?
The development I referenced is on the Cross Anderson land, so those two buildings are located there.
All right. Any other questions, comments? All right, the next item is election of, go ahead, Commissioner Fichette.
I just wanted to say it is a pleasure to see all of the conversations we were having in the cold of winter come to pass. So that video was awesome with Open to Business and all the programs that are available, especially for our seniors out there. It's good to see them come into fruition. Mm-hmm. So it's good. It's good work.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Any other comments? Commissioner Smith?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention, backtracking to one of the earliest slides of that presentation, we're really excited. I was part of the group that got to see the unveiling of the plan for what was formerly the Gordman space and now is going to become Ensign's Market, and it's really amazing to see some energy around the Burnsville Center. And even just in the bit of time that's passed since they revealed their new plans there's been more energy and more interest at the center. So that's a great progress that we couldn't quite control, but it was nice to see a little bit of spark starting the fire of excitement.
Any other comments? One question I had is the Sears property have you been working with them at all to get that road to go through?
We're in active conversations with Seritage and hope to have more to share soon with the community.
That's fine, that's enough. All right, anything else? Okay, the next item on the agenda is election of chair and vice chair. Beth Weber will have a short presentation on this.
So I don't have a presentation per se, but I had sent out a request for anyone who's interested in chair or vice chair positions to indicate that to me. And Vice Chair Anderson, you expressed interest in maintaining your position as vice chair. So really this, staff has no recommendation on this item, but discussion and then formal selection and vote is what the next steps would be for this item.
So there was no one who expressed interest in being chair?
Not that I had noticed at the time of the background publishing.
Okay. Is there anyone here who is interested in being chair? Crystal, you want to remain chair? Okay.
I would,
Find my hand button fast enough, but I stopped in and I just had a sidebar conversation with Regina, which I probably should have responded to you, Beth. I apologize for not sending an email, but I express interest in continuing as chair if the committee will have me.
Okay. Any nominations for chair?
I guess I would nominate the two that have put their names forth. So for chair, Commissioner Fichette, and for vice chair, Commissioner Anderson.
Do we have a second on that?
Second that.
Okay. Commissioner Sislo. Any comments, questions?
Appreciate you both for stepping up and doing a great job.
I don't know about how great a job I'm doing.
I'm great.
Doing a good job.
Okay, Ms. Weber, can you do the roll call vote?
Certainly. Commissioner Anderson,
Yes.
Commissioner Fichette,
Yes.
Commissioner Folkstad,
Aye.
Commissioner LaFever,
Aye.
Commissioner Schmitz,
Yes.
Commissioner Sislo.
Aye.
Okay. So we will move forward with our existing chair and vice chair for the next year.
Okay. And the next meeting is scheduled for September 14th. I'm assuming that we'll probably have that, but if not, we'll move on from there. It's time to request the call for adjournment of the July 13th, 2022 Economic Development Commission. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I motion.
Commissioner
Go
LaFever.
ahead.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, Commissioner Sislo. All in favor? Or I guess, no, we need another roll call, don't we?
Commissioner Anderson.
Yes.
Commissioner Fichette,
Yes.
Commissioner Folkstad,
Aye.
Commissioner LaFever,
Aye.
Commissioner Schmitz,
Yes.
Commissioner Sislo.
Aye.
All right, thanks for anybody who was attending the meeting, and we'll see you next time.